Shylin.
Okay, what's going on?
Oh, I was talking to Mom. She just texted me. Hey, what happened was I was up in Tehachapi, and I made my Zoom call. Were you on it? Did you hear the last hearing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I didn't think so because it was at 10 a.m. But what happened was...
I'm up at 8 a.m. every morning. I got a job.
I know. But here's what happened. That the Lena went in there and she started saying, oh, the judge was going to give the report from the two doctors, remember?
Yeah.
And Elena goes, yeah, I can't work with him, this and this and this. He's hard. And then the DA's like, yeah, he's real bad. And then the judge says, I know. He goes, well, and I'm listening to the call, and I guess Dad was in it maybe. I don't know. And Mom was in it and all them. But I was at the Hatch. What happened was the judge goes, hold on, I'm going to take a recess. I said, I'm right here. And he said, I'm going to take a 10-minute recess in the middle of it. And he goes, I'm going to go in the back and review these two reports. And I'm going to come back out and give my thing. And so we sat there waiting, and he goes in the back room, and on recess, while he's on recess, I can talk. So I'm like, hey, Elena, can you hear me? She goes, yeah. She goes, I says, I don't know about those reports or whatever. I said, but I want to let you know. I says, I've done nothing wrong, and this has been wrong from the beginning. I says, you don't have no victim, no witness, no search warrant, no consent. You guys don't have nothing. I've done nothing wrong. I says, and I'm innocent. This is false reports and false evidence and everything, and the whole crowd's listening. Everybody's listening. The guy goes, you better be quiet because everybody's here listening. And she goes, Dan, are you recording? I said, no, it's the other phone you're hearing on speaker. I said, I got my family here. We're listening. I says, and then the judge comes back out, and he goes, one report from the first doctor, he said he's incompetent. So Harvancic lied, right? He's the hour and a half one. But the second doctor, right before he sent his report over, I sent a recording to him through his voicemail. I left a recording of me recording him in the office saying, he says, I'm allowed to ask any questions I want about the case or anything. I'm privy. And I says, sounds like I should have an attorney here. And I sent that clip to him because he says, you can't take notes. Well, I sent that clip to him to listen to before he sent over his report. So it would scare him. I told him I'm doing a documentary. My girlfriend was FBI, and here it is, dude. I recorded the whole meeting. So if you give a bad report and slander me, I'm suing you. And so he gave a report. His report, the judge said, he goes, well, the other report came in. He says, Dan's a smart guy. But he said he was really rebellious on answering questions. I couldn't get him to answer questions because I pulled every time he hit me with a question, I hit him back with the question. I said, this is against my rights and all this shit. But anyway, what happened was the judge says, well, you know what? After reviewing everybody and Ms. Sears, you and these guys and this guys, I'm going to go ahead and be the second vote, and I'm going to find him incompetent.
Incompetent?
Yeah, the judge says, I'm going to go ahead and be the second one. I'm going to go ahead and I find him incompetent myself then. And he goes, I can go, and he's talking, he goes, and I can go ahead and put him in to get him ready for the trial. He goes, I could do that, and I could put him in now for up to 15 months. Maybe indefinitely if we can't get him mentally in shape. He's a mental defect. He starts slandering me, saying I'm a mental defect and all this shit, and I couldn't stand it any longer. Finally, I was about to start screaming at the motherfucker, but I didn't. And I as soon as he goes, well, I think he's mentally incompetent to stand trial, so I'm going to go ahead and maybe issue him 15 months, and there's mental deficiencies, there's mental defects. And I just go, does that mean, I spoke out, I go, do you mean to tell me you're going to put me in, does that mean a facility? And he goes, yeah. And I go, you've got to be kidding me. I go,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking start a GoFundMe account, and I'm going to raise some money and get you a fucking legit attorney, because this is bullshit.
You don't have to now. So he starts talking a couple more minutes, and everybody's listening, and finally he said something I didn't agree with. He goes, and he says, well, I can either dismiss it, or I can put him into up to 15 months or indefinitely. And I just go, and I just start laughing out loud for the whole court to hear. And he just stopped talking, like, really? Everybody's like, what? And what happened was they talked to him and said, Dan's been recording Everything's for 2 years now. He has all our hearings recorded. He has all these recordings, and they were going and looking at the YouTube account of that last week. This last week, I put up all the audios. I've been putting up the audios that they never got to hear. And they started hearing the ones I had at the police department telling on themselves before they destroyed the body cam. They started hearing the other ones in the Mohave County Sheriff's Department I had. They started hearing the ones of the doctor visits that I had of them when they're fucking talking. They started hearing and they started listening to all these recordings, and all of a sudden they realized, and the ones I had of Megan putting up videos, and all of a sudden they realized, they go, oh my God, this guy can just, and he was the final straw. This judge was the final dude I wanted recordings on. He's the ringleader of this corruption ring, so I had to get these last few recordings and get the hell out. But what happened?
The judge,
huh?
the attorney got. I wonder if the judge or the attorney got Joe's email he sent them.
When did he send it?
He sent it, I think, 2 days ago, maybe.
Okay, maybe so, because I just now got off the mountain in Tehachapi. I just pulled in. I was going to grab my birth certificate out of the mailbox, and then I was heading to the border with Booney, and we were going to call.
No.
Listen, we're going to call from San Diego the Friday Zoom call, because he said he goes, I'm not going to issue the order. I'm not going to give my ruling until Friday. So everybody, Friday at 3:30 p.m., the last Zoom call, he goes, I'm going to issue my order whether I'm going to have him put in prison, a mental prison, or dismiss it.
No, you're not doing that, Danny, and you're not running either.
You don't have to. If you read the email I just forwarded you, I just turned on my phone as I just pulled into Huntington just now. I just got off the mountain, and it was from Elena. And
This is your attorney, right?
That's the public defender lady, right? And she says, Dan, I've been calling all 3 of your phones, couldn't get a hold of you, and there's no more hearings.
What does that mean?
She said the county attorney's going to dismiss.
Dismiss the case?
Friday.
You're going to dismiss the case?
Yep. Dismissed. Over. No more hearings. I'm free.
These motherfuckers, dude.
Fucking 26 and a half months. The longest poker tournament I've ever played. But Shylin, you helped me so much.
Look at it, because Joe sent an email to the attorney and to the judge that said that he does data analysis, that his report is not submissible in court because he doesn't work with the courts, but he had a friend who does work with the courts and did the data analysis on your stuff, and they found that like your files and stuff were altered, and that